We are so excited to be here at the Vermont Flower and Garden Show.
We are here before opening hours to give you a tour of the beautiful display gardens. We're going to take a little bit of a look at some of the booths, and then we'll talk a bit about the seminar that we gave here at the Vermont Flower and Garden Show.
The theme of this year's flower show is the story of gardening, and that's why we're here with Gardener Supply to tell our story of gardening at our seminar later today. But this flower show display is spectacular. It starts here with the Regency entrance into the Victorian glass house and the Rocky Glen. But let's see the real thing right over here, Christopher. Check this out.
The first thing you notice when you walk in is the peacocks. Oh my goodness, is this the coolest thing ever?
But the other thing I noticed that I thought was absolutely astounding were the wisteria blooms. And all of these things, it's real. It's blooming, it's alive in March, and that is really exciting because it smells beautiful in here.
There's a lot of hyacinth around. I've seen some flowering fruits. Beautiful.
Look, anemones. This was one of our wedding flowers. This was the boutonniere I wore in our wedding. So if you come this way, you're gonna see the Victorian glass house. This is real grass with tulips coming out of it, and they have little crocus.
I can't believe they have crocus coming out of it.
It's astounding. These look like little, I bet these are campagna urns, like some version of the Litchfield urn that we have. I'm really liking, and you'll see this repeated throughout the display today, I'm really liking these pedestals with the urns on them.
Me too. And they're kind of at the center of pathways.
And this, Christopher, of course, is on the other side too. So I think maybe we'll do the outside ring first.
And then go back
and then go around the inside.
Very cool.
Rhododendron. This I like the foliage color on. It's that nice dark color. And I like this combination of the bold foliage of the primrose with the thinner, bluer foliage of the tulips, and then that dark, rich foliage of that rhododendron.
I gotta say, seeing this much color when there's so little color at home right now, it's got me giving the itch. I've got the itch.
It's true. It's backed by evergreens, which help kind of soften, it creates those walls to make this room in here, this weeping crabapple. What variety is that?
Royal Beauty, I think it says.
So beautiful. I really like the tones of the pinks and the reds together. I'm surprised how well that works. It kind of draws your eyes, the purples into the yellows, the reds, the pinks, back into the whites and peaches.
I think this is probably my favorite part of the display gardens. They called this the Rocky Glen. Look at these water features that make it look like the rocks are being held up by a water stream.
That is amazing. I'm very drawn to the color scheme here too. This purple and blue.
That blue in the hyacinth and the cooler purple tone in the rhododendron. And that's a PJM, that's a classic rhododendron. Some flowering trees. How did they get flowering crab apples flowering this early? It blows my mind.
The amount of thought and effort that goes into this is so astounding.
And I'm noticing that I'm drawn to the white flowers and even the white around some of those daffodils. I feel like that actually gives that little accent to all of the darker tones. It's really quite beautiful.
I agree. When you have these dark, rich jewel tones, if you bring in that pop of white, it really adds something special.
The next section is the Cottage garden. I meant to sit down. I meant to sit down right here is where I meant to sit. But you can see the Cottage garden has a lot of those elements that we include in our garden, with these curving lines in the front. And there's even a curved natural stone path going through there. Really just a tangle of beautiful daffodil colors and textures.
Ooh, a blooming lilac.
That's what I could smell. There's a lot of beautiful fragrances in here, but some of them really stick out. And it was that lilac. Again, white popping out of the landscape. I really enjoy that. So this is continuing in with the cottage area, some cardinal red dogwood, which is what we've been using in our front containers.
Oh, those nice bright red sticks for the winter. That must be a very young shrub because they have not turned red yet. They'll turn red as they age. Oh, you found the lilac. I gotta get a whiff.
Yeah, you gotta get a whiff of that. Smell-o-vision right there. This is cracking me up. The next garden is the Dutch tulip field.
Yeah,
Not
it is.
because it's a Dutch tulip field, but it reminds me of Wicked.
I know, the opening scene in Wicked is so cool.
You know, they said that they had 2 million tulips that were real. Those weren't CGI, which I don't know how they managed that. They are pumping in some bird noises, so if it's a little bit loud, I apologize for that. But look at the windmill with the beautiful painting on it. I enjoy this a lot.
This display is called the Green Wall Plaza, and as we can see, there is a green wall. This color combination, the texture combination, there's depth with shorter and taller varieties of mosses. This is something that I would love to see installed in like a beautiful home or an office building or a back patio that's enclosed, something like that.
What if it was installed in a beautiful salon suite?
A beautiful salon suite. Really nice. And then down below us, Christopher, what caught my eye are the owl statues. You know, I've had my eye on owl statues lately. Owls and foxes, looking for fox statues.
I have to say that the next section might be the most impressive simply because they have corn.
They do have corn.
They have fully grown corn in the Victory Garden.
The Victory Garden, the chickens are not real.
They are not stuffed chickens.
But yeah, this is, I mean, the Victory Garden, growing crops with the chicken coop and the corn. We've got young corn, we've got older corn. It's really impressive. Some kale, it looks like.
The next garden is the medieval garden, which I'm getting such a kick out of because it's got the flags in the back that, you know, very medieval. It reminds me of Sleeping Beauty, the Disney version. And it just has these interesting like chessboard touches. I feel like this would be so awesome in any garden. Maybe the lawn would have to be mowed just a tiny bit cleaner for Eric's purposes, but it's such an interesting mix of the veggies and this formal area, again with the urn on the pedestal.
But what is really catching my eye are these really interesting containers and the detail on them. Really beautiful. The idea of a simple monopot of bulbs, like these daffodils coming out of a container in early spring is really beautiful. And look at the faces on the containers in the center.
Oh, and the little beehives made of rope.
Oh yeah.
How interesting is that?
And back there, there's that gargoyle, an owl statue, some rabbit figurines. It's really, I think I'm really into the figurines and cast stone this season.
Yeah, it's whimsy. It's whimsy in the garden, right?
I'm really liking a whimsy moment.
Love the whimsy. This they call the shepherd's hut. So they have the stone hut here, and then fruit trees, which is cracking me up to see fruit.
We saw these and we were just astounded that they were fruiting, and then we looked closer and it looks like the fruit is wired on, but it still gives you
the effect. The feel of it.
It's really such a privilege to come through here without anyone else here.
I'm not gonna lie, they have a sign that says no entry, but I don't know if I wanna go hang out in a small stone hut. I don't know if that's the place for me to hang out.
Do you know what? This sign wasn't here the other day, and I wonder if people started to go in, and that's why they had to put it up. I don't blame them. I mean, it's very inviting.
These are rosemary plants. What a great idea to have them. They kind of look like a U.
A little bit.
A similar leaf structure.
Mm-hmm. The inside has 2 additional gardens. Come around this way. Past, again, this gorgeous drift of blooming tulips. Oh, annuals. So exciting. This is the Japanese. Nope, the reveal's on the other side. So as we come around the corner here, we can see this beautiful reveal of the Japanese tea garden.
Look at this tea house. It's so pretty.
So interesting to see the different styles of gardens all in one spot, but I love them all. Nice palm tree. This one in the center here is the Islamic garden. There's
Probably
a nice,
the most impressive thing.
yeah, there's a nice water feature in the middle there. I noticed that we've got some palms and cacti and ferns. It's a very different makeup of plants than the other gardens. It's really beautiful in here, and the smell is so nice. It's a mixture of spring bulbs and lilac and mulch.
Yeah, I feel like that mulch smell might actually be just as important to a gardener as any flower fragrance.
It's really astounding. Ugh, just look at the daffodils. That's Las Vegas, it says. Here today with Marley from Gardener Supply to take us on a quick tour of the gardener's booth. It is beautiful.
Thank you so much. We really wanted to bring in elements of what our Gardener Supply online and retail stores really carry. So we have our houseplant selection that really is a focus of our retail garden centers, mainly in the wintertime. And then our online store is really focused on seed starting right now. So we have a paper pot making space, and also you can write a pledge on how to be greener and hang it on our arch trellis.
Wonderful.
We have these in our garden and we love them. So this is what the beds look like, not stained. This is how they come. Well, we stained ours dark charcoal. It's
This also
beautiful.
gives me inspiration to maybe put a houseplant or some kind of other lush thing that's not a veggie in our elevated beds.
And then Christopher, come through here. I want to show everyone the nice little section they dedicated to us, which I thought was amazing. This is called Based on a True Story. Meet Eric and Christopher. And when I first saw this, I was like, ugh.
He was a little bit sheepish.
But I think it's so nice. And this color, Grapeful?
Grapeful?
I love it. It's a great accent color. It is seed starting season, as you know, so Marley's going to tell us all about what you need to start your seeds in March.
Absolutely. We really wanted to pull in a core seed starting section to our booth. So we have our Growies kits and we have the XL seed starting kits, which are perfect. They kind of encompass everything that you need to really get started. We have our trowels and our scoops and our seedling tongs, so when they're ready, you can pop them right in the ground.
You know that Scoopy is my favorite tool that's ever been made.
You love that scoop, but I love the thing that I can't remember the name of. Trowel.
There we go.
Gardening staple.
We have stopped by Common Roots with our new friends,
Carol.
Sophie.
and they're going to tell us a little bit about what they do.
So Common Roots is a 17-year nonprofit that focuses on food education, food equity, and land stewardship. So we grow food for 3 food shelves, and we are focused on the education of food at one of the food shelves.
So I'm in the classroom in 3 different elementary schools in South Burlington. We bring an ingredient every month where we cook with the kids, we get to taste it, we keep it local to Vermont and seasonal, and it's a lot of fun.
And then they get to taste test.
Oh.
We're here with Andre from Savor Cookies. These have been a huge hit here at the Vermont Flower Show. Everyone is raving about them, so tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Andre. I'm the owner. We've been doing this for about 12 years now. We do shortbread that's sweet, savory, and spicy. It goes from, let's say, lavender to hot pepper and onion to birch beer and cranberry. We love selling the bags as well. And one of the joys for me is to be able to meet with people and see how they enjoy the cookies and have that interaction as well.
And they really enjoy them.
Oh, well, thank you.
This is a coconut lime hot pepper. Sounds really interesting.
It takes about 20 seconds before you feel it.
It's delicious.
This is a great little booth. This is the Phoenix Bookstore. They're in Burlington and Essex. We're actually just outside of Burlington in the town of Essex, but there's 2 books that we brought home. We brought home botanist vocabulary, so if you hear me using a lot of really interesting terms like carunculate, having a caruncle. And then the other book that we brought home was...
I think you got the last one.
I think I got the last one, actually. I'm looking all over the place. But they have all of the Floret flower books. This is such an amazing book. They do such gorgeous photography at Floret Farm.
This book is very tempting to me. Not that, you know, we don't have enough pictures of hydrangeas, but these are just so gorgeous, and it goes variety by variety. So pretty. It was such a pleasure to be able to speak about the journey of our garden, starting it in 2018 until where it is today. We had a lot of fun sharing photos and meeting everybody who came to attend the seminar. So thank you very much for that. Here are a few highlights for you to enjoy.
Let's talk about garden structures. It's one of my favorite views. I did get a drone a couple years ago, and I'm learning how to use it. I'm getting the hang of it. I only crashed it once. So this is the aerial view you can see of our elevated beds. And the combination of the very square bed with the big curve arch over it really encapsulates a lot of what we're talking about.
So thinking about creating these vignettes, kind of giving yourself the rule of those 4 color tones helps it from feeling so overwhelming. We recommend in gardening to just make it your own, to learn as much as you can, enjoy it as much as you can.
How we created this contemporary cottage is embracing all of the things that we love and just melding them.
This has been an amazing experience being here at the Vermont Flower Garden Show. Obviously, we were at the Gardener's Supply booth where we've been hanging out a lot and meeting so many fellow gardeners. It's been a lot of fun.
So thank you to everyone who joined us at the seminar and joined us today for our video. Make sure to subscribe. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.